Hey, B. Listen, I want us to go ahead without waiting. I'm going to go ahead and get started on talking about basketball wives. All right. So the new season has dropped. Okay. We've covered it in the past. And we're going to chat about it today for the latest episode. And then what I want to get into is the fact that, what's his name? We got to talk about Christian Gold. First of all, Evelyn Lozada came to the front to address a few things over on Twitter. In addition to that, it seems like somebody else over there on her page is calling out Jennifer's husband. So we have to tap into that. And then also, it wouldn't be right if we didn't talk about the game as well and the situation that he has going on. So make sure you guys are coming into the video. You are liking up the video. And we are definitely going to be getting into this latest episode. Now, I feel like they filmed the episode a bit dark. I hate when they bring shows back and they film them so dark, but it is what it is. But we're gonna chat about it. I'm just trying to open up these details on this particular story. All right, let me see if I can hopefully pull it up at some point. All right, there we go. Okay, cool. So it'll be ready when it's time to get into it. All right, so first of all, they start this show off getting right into the things, and I'm so glad they get right into it because they talk about Jennifer and they also talk about this Christian man that she's dating. Okay, well, that's his name. I don't know if you're a Christian or not, but anywho, I feel like it's clear the fact that they opened up this particular episode. It's clear to me that Jennifer and Christian are going to be a conversation for a great bit of this show, and they could potentially be used as people's storyline. Now, you don't have to like Jennifer and you don't have to like the fact that she's with this man, as a lot of us don't. But at the same time, it don't mean that folks ain't gonna use her as a storyline. Like, what else y'all got going on? So make sure y'all bring that to the front, okay? Christian says that he is on probation for false imprisonment. That's what he says, and I believe that's with the ex baby or the ex girlfriend slash baby mama. Because I remember listening to her tell her story and stuff like that. So yeah, he has the false imprisonment and he's been on probation for that. And he was told at one point he could leave the state, but then he also was told, well, you know what? You actually can not leave the state. Okay. You can leave, but you can't leave. This is what you got to do. You got to fill out this paperwork. All right. So it seems like he was told different things from different people, let him tell it. So he felt like he could just leave or whatever and come to find out he can't do that. All right. That's what he said. So he talks about how when they were traveling or in the midst of traveling, they posted an image and that is what ended up getting him got because somebody sent that over to, I guess, the attorney, the prosecutor, whoever sent it over to them. And then he had to go before the judge where he ended up getting his punishment. His punishment was the fact that, of course, you can't travel. You got to get permission before you could just do that. You went and booked a whole wedding without even considering us, right? Well, he got 2 days in prison or jail, whatever, and then he went on over to go be a part of his wedding festivities. And then once he were to return, he had to do another 15 days. All right. So that was his punishment. Okay. Now, and that's interesting too, because is he allowed to leave to film? Because I believe they live in Atlanta. However, they do a lot of filming out there in LA as well. So it seems like Jennifer may have two homes there, a home here and a home there. So I guess he's cleared to fly out there to work or whatever. But anywho, and I sure hope that Christian is getting paid as he is a part of this show, considering the fact that baby mama need her coins. Okay. Yeah. Baby mama is gonna need her money. So I'm definitely hoping that he do what he needed, he getting a check so that he could pay her. So anywho, none of the ladies went to the wedding from what we're learning. I don't think her and Jackie were on good terms. Her and Evelyn were okay, but she's glad that Evelyn couldn't come because I think her daughter was having her child around the same time. But she said she was glad that Miss Girl did not come because she didn't like the stuff that she said online. Evelyn, instead of reaching out to Jen, she said she reached out to Jen. Jen said that she didn't. She went online. She started talking that big talk about how she don't feel comfortable with Jen being with this man and whatever the case is. All right. So that's what she says. Right. So, because of that, she's feeling a little shaky. Like, BIT, you tell me everything else, why you couldn't hit me up about that? Now, when it comes to Jen and Christian, Jen says that she feels guilty because he was living such a private life. And then now he was living such a private life. Now, because of her, he's in the public. And I'm like, ma'am, first of all, he's in the public because he made a decision to be in the public. He didn't have to be with you. Once he learned your lifestyle, which I feel like he probably knew before he even met you, he knew what it was when he signed up. So he chose to do this. The problem is, y'all never expected somebody to dive deeper into his tea and expose him about certain things. Okay. Y'all weren't expecting the people to take a vengeance upon y'all. Okay. That's what it really is. Now, that's what they got going on. Jen, stop unnecessarily putting weight on yourself that should not be applied, if you ask me personally. Okay. Now, Chantel is the daughter of Jackie. Did y'all get into Jackie's interview that she did with Carlos King? Now, I listened to it a bit this morning. I ain't take no notes from it, but I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. It was a interview of delusion for me. The way she has said that the fans don't want Evelyn on the show and they want primarily Jackie on the show. I'll be honest, I haven't seen either of that. Well, I'll say this: we ain't crazy about Evelyn. That's period. Okay, we ain't been crazy about Evelyn since the OG situation. However, I will say that I haven't seen nobody saying that it should just only be Jackie on the show. Like, have y'all seen? I haven't seen it. Like Jackie, Team Jack. I haven't really that. I haven't seen that. But anywho, so Chantel. No, what else I wanted to say about this interview? I just felt like it was just a bunch of delusion. Okay, I can't even recall everything that she talked about, but a lot of it always pointed back to Jackie being that girl. Jackie. Everybody jealous of Jackie. Everybody upset with Jackie. Hey, no Jackie. It was just weird. But okay, Jackie. So anywho, Chantel. Chantel is now on the show, and y'all know Chantel is her daughter. Her daughter Chantel has joined the show. What we learned about Chantel is she has two kids. She has a little boy. She also has an 8-year-old girl. Now, that 8-year-old girl is from a previous relationship. Okay. And unfortunately for her, that little girl daddy is like, you're not gonna have my child be a part of this show. I don't give a damn what you got going on. She not this one. Okay, not this child is not going to be a part of this show. So unfortunately, she can't have her daughter a part of the show. But being that she's married to her NBA player husband, he's willing to have his son on the show. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see him, but that's that. All right. We also learned that she is living in the same building as Jackie. And with her living in this building with Jackie, she's afraid that Jackie may try and overstep her boundaries. Okay. She might do a little too much. She like, listen, I only got you here to do a bit of micromanaging. Well, I'm sorry, not to micromanage me, but to do a little bit of watching over my home when I'm going back and forth. Okay. Between this area and I guess the one on the East Coast, because it seems like she may have one on the West Coast, East Coast, whatever it is. She's traveling back and forth and she wants her mama to keep an eye on things. But at the same time, I feel like she needs her mom to also keep an eye on her kids for her too, here or there. Like, see, Shaunie is gonna piss me the hell off. Okay, I'm just gonna be real honest with y'all right out the gate. Shaunie gonna get on my nerves. Now, granted, Jackie has a bit of delusion that is attached to her. Sorry, she does. And we still like Jackie. Don't get it twisted now. We still like Jackie and her craziness, but sometimes it could be a bit too cuckoo at times, right? But Shaunie is gonna irritate me because it's like, do you want your mama help or you don't? For me, when it comes to Jackie and her daughter acts like everything she does irritates her. It's like, it don't, like, whatever Jackie do, it just gets on her fucking nerves. And I'm like, dang, like, what's really going on? So I just need to know more about their relationship, their dynamic, because I don't recall those two really having a lot of friction. But Jackie's other daughter, the darker skinned one, I know there was tons of friction there. But when you're a mother and a person, I'll say this, when you're a person that operates in a bit of delusion, I could see that getting on her kids' fucking nerves. If y'all just go and listen to that interview that she had with Carlos King, I don't feel like everything always made sense as she's talking. You know, like, I don't know what Jackie got going on. I don't know. Jackie, you need to get checked, baby. But anywho, all in all, although I understand the frustrations her daughter may have, at the same time, when Jackie wasn't even doing anything, she would just make these faces like her mom just gets on her nerves and stuff. And it's like, do you want her help or you don't want her help, baby? Which one is it? So anywho, what else she tells her? Chantel does talk about how their relationship has been rocky because Jackie likes to control everything, but she's open to working on things. Okay. And that's pretty much what they got going on. So it look like she gonna come to blows with her mama high key. So it don't look like then gonna get too worked out. in my opinion. But let's get to Evelyn and Jackie because they do link up, right? And y'all know Evelyn is now a grandma. Her daughter, Shy, has had, I think it Shanice, right? I think that's right. She has had a child with the game. All right. She welcomed a baby boy, very cute baby boy. Evelyn was showing off pictures. Jackie was showing off pictures of her grandbaby. It was what it was. Of course, they discussed Jen. Evelyn says she hasn't talked to Jen. She says she was trying to tell Jen not to marry that man. Okay. When she was hearing certain things about this man, she said she was trying to get to her. She was trying to let her know, like, hey girl, you need to not abort mission. This ain't what you want. Okay, you need to get up out of this, right? So basically, Evelyn feels like Jen is dumb as fuck to move forward in this relationship. I just need to know what the hell Jen know that I don't. Okay, I just need to know, what do you know that I don't, that you would continue to move forward in this marriage with this man. I don't know. I don't think it was the best decision. But I'm like, there must be something that we don't know, right? Now we know he has, let's say he didn't do the scamming, but he has this false imprisonment charge. He acted a certain way with his kid's mom that appeared to have resulted in some type of DV situation. Now, I think when Christian has told the stories in the past, how he kind of tells it, it's like people was lying on him basically. Okay, when it comes to the DV situation. So I don't know. I don't know, but when the mom, the ex-girl came out and started telling the story, she sounded very convincing and truthful to me. When he did that interview, him and Jen over there with Carlos King, some things didn't make sense. It didn't add up. So I just need to understand what Jen knows, because she clearly knows some that I don't know. Okay. Um, but anywho, so that's what they got going on. Of course, Jen links up with Brandi. Her and Brandi are in a good place, but also Brandi is in a good place with Evelyn too. All right, I feel like they in a good place because Evelyn Slick didn't want this smoke from Brandi just a little bit. Brandi be ready to fight just like she do. But anywho, so Brandi lets us know that she is separated from her husband and she's focusing on herself and her child at this time. Now, Jen talks about the support she's been getting because obviously she hasn't been getting it from the ladies like she would like. However, she got it from Christian's mom and his aunt because when he was locked up, they came to stay with her for a bit. And, she don't have her mom. Her mom passed away. So to get that support meant a lot. All right. It meant a lot to her. What else? So Jen said that she was pretty much upset with Evelyn because she just didn't like that she took it to the internet instead of coming to her. Like, BIT, you always got so much to tell me about everybody else, but you could have just came to me about me too. Why would you go to the internet? And I don't know. I do kind of feel like that was messed up to like go to the internet first versus coming to Jen. Can I say this too? And I just feel like with Evelyn and Jen, I can agree with Evelyn on some things as though this may not have been a wise decision for Jen to make, right? However, Evelyn, you still strike me as that type of friend, as I've said when we talked about this on Patreon. I just kind of feel like you the type of friend that want to see your friend doing good long as it ain't better than you. And granted, I'm not saying that Christian is that better than you. That's not what I'm saying. But you just give me that vibe of where you see your friend. If your friend has always been down here to you, you always want to see them there. Right? If they were to elevate, and let's say it wasn't, I feel like I would have the same energy, even if it wasn't Christian and Evelyn, I'm sorry, and Jen went on to find a great guy, ideal guy, didn't have this scammer stuff, treated her right, whatever it was. Evelyn, because to me, deep down, she's not a fully happy person. She would still try to find something wrong with that person. Of course, with the stuff Christian got going on, the allegations against him, his history with, the courts or whatever, you make it easy for her to do that. But for me, it's like, I see you, bitch. Just a little piece, okay? You definitely are one of those friends to me. And when Jackie's doing all this talking about y'all love each other and y'all this and y'all that and whoop de whoop de whoop, and you haven't acted like that with her before. And I'm like, bitch, where you been at? Why y'all acting like this lady didn't snatch her shoes off and jump on the motherfucking table to go across at this lady? Why y'all acting like Evelyn hasn't popped that vein out in her forehead on more than one occasion against Jen? It's like it. How they say it? What's that example? Tell me you don't like me. Tell me you don't like your friend without telling me you don't like your friend. Like she really don't like that lady for real. I think their friendship probably was out of convenience because nobody else was really fucking with her. It's okay. And it's crazy because Jen has always appeared to have the better lifestyle than Evelyn. And I'm not saying Evelyn is jealous or anything, but the confidence isn't always there. Like Jen may have had, oh, she got the husband with the money, and she may have had have a bit of money or a little more than Evelyn. She don't got no kids. She can roam, do free, be free, and all of that. But the confidence, in my opinion, hasn't always been there like a Evelyn. So I don't know. It's just something about the dynamic of the friendship. It's you, Evelyn. I don't like him. All right. But anywho, so Jen, like I said, she's mad at Evelyn over that, over the whole what she told social media. Brandi says that she and Evelyn don't work their issues out. And according to Evelyn, she's been trying to reach out to you. Okay. Jen feels like and y'all catch this, right? This is real interesting. Jen says that Brandi let the ladies walk her out of her marriage. Are you okay? And I don't agree with that. I'm like, how? Did y'all forget how much of a hoe Jason was? Ain't that her ex-husband or separated husband named Jason? Did y'all forget how much of a hoe that nigga was? And how much she was putting him through it. But, once she found out how much she was punking him or whatever the case was, I just felt like she really was doing it to herself because she seemed so miserable in that marriage and she wanted him to feel the pain that she felt. And it's like, girl, just leave that man. Because it's painful watching you continue to stay in this marriage with this man and you have not moved past the cheatations and everything of it all. You don't have to sit there with that. Okay. So I'm kind of glad that she has separated from him or finally acknowledging and admitting that she separated from him. But that's what broke up the marriage. It really broke it up a long time ago. She just wasn't ready to leave for real. Okay. But I don't think the ladies walked her out of that shit. He did that on his own. But anywho, Evelyn sits with Carl's cousin, messy as hell. Now, if I was Jen, I would have looked at that proof. I would have had to just like let me see what the hell it is you talking about over here. Just a little piece. And that's where your delusion kicks in for me, Jen. Okay. Now, Evelyn could have been lying. Right? That girl could have been lying. I don't know. I don't know if the lady was lying or not. Okay. I was willing to believe that she's not lying because I'm like, damn, why would you get on a TV show and say that you somebody's cousin and say that somebody took 1,500 from you if you didn't, if they didn't take that from you. So I was like, she got to be telling the truth, right? I mean, wrong. People lie every day, but I'm like, right? But she said that she invested 1,500 with the man, and then he turned around and told her to do something, buy into Bitcoin, and she like, why do I have to manage this if I paid you the 1,500? I want my money back. I don't know nothing about no damn Bitcoin. Right? So that's what she says. Okay. So Evelyn is loving this. So she feels like, and see, this is the thing. Evelyn is, in my opinion, in this first episode, disguising things behind I care about Jen and yada, yada, yada. I don't think it's that she cares about her, in my opinion. I think it's that, bitch, I told you. Like, that's the type of energy she's on. I don't think it's about, I really care about my friend and how it's making her look and this and that. Nah, because honestly, you could have potentially set up a sit. Well, really, Jen would have been mad either way. I was gonna say she could have set up a sit down between the two so the lady could tell her herself. But Jen would have been mad either way it went. Anywho, Brittany Renner is back, and I knew she was gonna be back while she's sitting over there trying to shut down the OnlyFans and all of that, trying to go follow Muslim and Allah and all this stuff. And yeah, I knew she was gonna be back. And you're not Kevin Gates' wife. I want you to stop saying that. I don't care what nobody's talking about. She ain't. It is Drika Gates, who I believe has filed for a divorce, honey. The most unproblematic wife you could have, really, in my personal, because she don't never say that. Okay? She just probably digging at it as behind the scenes, potentially. But she be over there looking unbothered as hell, healthy as fuck, gorgeous. I mean, I'm gonna be glad when she walk away from him though. But I don't believe she's no official wife, but I also believe she turned Muslim for him because she's crazy about him. I mean, I guess. Anywho, So, Brittany meets with Jackie. She talks about her mom. I think she said her mama stole from her and did some other stuff to her, but okay. So she also talks about Evelyn, how she feels like Evelyn is the worst woman or the worst woman out of all of the women. She says that she talks a lot of shit. Okay, basically she been going on interviews, she been doing a lot of yapping, and Britt ain't really featuring that. She talked about, now I don't know if Britt said this or if I put this in my notes, but Evelyn been doing the same shit for years. Okay, she's been doing the same stuff for years, and when I tell you there is no growth, Evelyn too is also one of those people that thought she was gonna be able to leave Basketball Wives, hop over there on the OWN network, do Living Lozada, and then bring her ass right on back to Basketball Wives, shy, and back to the BS that she was on earlier in her life. Girl, I guess. Anywho, Jackie talks about how she wants the ladies to sit down and have a conversation either way. So we'll see. Now, we also meet Ming Lee. Y'all know Ming Lee was the one over there on Real Housewives of Atlanta that they were accusing of giving Miss Kenya Moore certain information about a cast member named Bristol Edie. All right. So she is, I think they said she was auditioning for Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she ended up booking Basketball Wives. All right. Now she's been dating Ty, the woman they've tried to accuse Drew Sidora of being connected to, but the one that actually dated Mimi Faust. Yeah, her. So they were dating. They recently broke up, but we're about to get into them. And I'll be honest, I'm more interested in Ming Lee and Ty than I was with Maxiell and her girlfriend that we never saw, or her fiance. I don't know. They may be married now. But I'm kind of glad she's gone from the show. Yikes, hate to say it, but I am. Anywho, let's get into it. So Evelyn and Brandi, of course, they're chatting. Brandi tells her about her talking to Jen, and Jen was like, "Girl, why you ain't just come to her and tell her all of that?" Evelyn said, "Because we'll still be in the same place." She not lying. She not lying. They would be in the same place. But the reason they'll be in the same place is because you really ain't willing to accept the fact that this is Jen's life. It ain't yours, right? Um, and you wouldn't be able to accept the fact that she's not open to hearing what you got to say. And I understand as friends, we want our friends to get it, but sometimes they got to fall on their own sword on their own. You can tell them there's nothing wrong with telling them. Let them know before you go and blast it to the world. Okay? So I don't know why she even did that to get online and say what she said. I could see if it maybe have been an interview and she was asked about it and then she gave her honest opinion. Jen probably would have felt the way about that. But I mean, she was asked versus going over and, just doing a whole video on her damn social media or whatever. And the reason why I also say that is because Evelyn, you be so mad if anybody says anything about your people. If you had a man, you will feel away. If she said something about your daughter, you would feel away. So I do feel like Jen is valid in feeling like, damn, we just got our friendship back on track or whatever the case is. If you was feeling away, why you just didn't come to me directly? Why you had to blast that on social media? And even if you couldn't get to me how you wanted to right at that moment, why you just couldn't wait until we could have a conversation and then you tell me how you feel. And I'll take in what you say, or I'll just be like, I'm not ready to hear that right now. And you got to be okay with that. That's her fucking life. Okay, whatever gonna hit her, gonna have to hit her, and all you can say is, I tried to tell you. I mean, you can't beat it in her head, and that's the thing about Evelyn. I don't like that. Like, you can't. This ain't the one for you. Like, girl, I'm not gonna keep having this conversation with y'all. I'm not gonna keep trying to tell you. I'm just not gonna do it. Okay. So there's that. Evelyn says that no, yeah. So she talks about the cousin. She tells Brandi, like, get this, it's more to the story. Carl's cousin tried to invest with him. He pretty much stole her money, and now she want her money back. Okay, so Brandi is shocked because she hasn't known anybody close to the situation like that. So now she knows Evelyn, who knows somebody directly that was supposedly affected by Christian action, okay? By his actions. So we get to the Friendsgiving. Jackie, are you okay? Bitch, don't you ever invite nobody else to no Friendsgiving where you done cooked a turkey that looked barely cooked and you don't even eat the meat yourself. So how are you up here preparing it for somebody else? So you can't even taste your own damn food while you want other folks to taste it. Baby, no. Okay, Evelyn walked over there and said, "Oh, you ain't put no stuff in? You didn't do?" Girl, I don't even know if the damn chicken was clean for real. You just didn't do it right, ma'am. You did not do it right, and you shouldn't have even attempted that. You should have ordered out with everything else. So, anywho, Britt, Evelyn, and Chantel were there first, okay? Once Britt comes in, baby, she didn't even acknowledge Evelyn. I don't think she spoke to the lady or hugged her, but she hugged Chantel. And Chantel like, ooh, honey, this is a little awkward for me, girl. This is a little piece of ooh. And she said, I know it is for me too, because I'm usually not around bitches I don't like. Ooh, shit. Okay. And then she got up and walked off. Evelyn knew she was talking about her too. So Jackie goes in there and tell her, like, I'm with you, you know what I'm saying? Your feelings are valid. You know, you just come out there and you had that conversation. You just let her know how you feeling and whoop de whoop de whoop da 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 da. Y'all can have this talk. So she goes out there and Britt just pretty much lets her know, like, listen, I want to make, Allah proud. That's my main thing, because everything we utter out of our lips, we have to answer to at some point. Now, bitch, I held on to that little piece. Everything you say out your lips, you're gonna have to answer to at some point. I was like, oh, okay, bitch. I might have to hold on to that one. Note. Okay. But then she says that she was hurt by Evelyn and the things that she was going around saying in interviews. And Evelyn said, are you done? How what? Is you cool? So Britt was like, see, it's that condescending. No, it's not condescending at all. Like, well, that's what it's giving. No, I'm just saying, can I say, I just want to tell you, can I say, see, listen, the reason you got what it is that you got from me was really because I was responding. You know what I'm saying? Because you had called us out our names. You said some things about us. And I didn't really like that. So I was just pretty much giving back to you what it is you was giving to me. You know what I'm saying? But I do you this. How about this? I apologize. Okay, I'm sorry, and maybe we can start over and we can reconnect. And Brie was like, well, I mean, I guess because bitch, I was really here to get in your ass. Okay, because I already know how much of a fireball you can be, and BIT, do not let none of this gear. Okay, do not let this religious attire fool you, because I will meet you where you are. However, I don't know what to do with myself right now, bitch, because you don't apologize to her. You don't apologize. You've apologized. You know what? I'm gonna take that for today. I'm gonna take that and we're gonna work on it and we're gonna move forward. I got you. Yes, I do. So we gonna see, but child, based on the previews, they not gonna keep it together. They're not. The two ladies will be clashing very soon. Cause Evelyn gonna piss a person off. So she ain't gonna be able to just be okay for it. She gotta get some action started, all right? But they hugged it out and it's cool. So Jennifer and Evelyn chat. Everybody sitting around the table. Here go Jackie. You ladies, y'all want to talk? I'm gonna let y'all talk. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just letting y'all know if the flow is here if y'all want it to. Because one thing Jackie got to do is have a piece of a ponderosa. Okay. So Evelyn says, well, listen, just to let you know, girl, that audio that you heard, that was me talking to the detective, girl, and I ain't really saying anything about your man. That's just that. So, And Jen said, well, it was a lot of stuff that was false. All right. And then Evelyn, that's when she gets the attitude. She just looked at her like, Jen, girl, listen. And Jen said, girl, we're not going to make this about Christie. She said, well, too bad, because that's what it is. Okay. That's what it's about. It's all about his ass. All right. Really? So then she starts snapping. And this is where I have an issue to me. Because why do you have all of this energy to me? Why do you have all of this energy for her when she is the one to choose to be with this person? You over here snapping at her about somebody else's money as if it was your money that was stolen. Okay, now granted, I understand you want the man to get a lady the money back. Hell, especially during these times, if you can afford you a Rolex and all this and that, and you did take from her, get that lady her fucking money. Yes. Okay. However, at the same time, this who she want to be. Let that lady be with who she gonna be with. You cannot beat it in her head. Okay, you can't. It's just not. It is what it is. So then Evelyn was trying to show her evidence. Here go, Jen. I don't want to see that. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to see that. Okay. Evelyn says, I know you want to deny that this is happening, but girl, it is. I know you want to act like it's not existing, but girl, it is. Okay. Jen says, well, I'm just not interested. I'm not interested. Evelyn asks, do you care? Like, do you care about any of the victims? This lady, the other lady on disability, da 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 da. Like, do you care? And Jen says that, Christian doesn't even know that woman. He doesn't even know the one. Evelyn says, I get that's your man's, but sometimes it will bring you down. Period. Like, that's what's happening. Whew. So Evelyn was really upset about this. I don't like, she gonna learn. She's going to learn. She's going to learn all she needs to know. It is what it is. And as much as I might feel like I agree with some of what you saying, Evelyn. At the same time, I do feel like the approach can be something. Like all she said was some things were false, right? And then you want to get to snapping. It's not warranted. Like all of that's not needed. This is her life. If anything were to go wrong, it's not gonna fall back on you. Let her do her thing. But at the same time, I do feel like Jen, I wouldn't have even gave her anything if you feel like it's not up for conversation, right? So when you say a lot of things were false, okay, let's talk about it, right? I'm not here to talk about Christian. Then just shut the fuck up. Just be like, well, okay. Okay, well, I'll talk with him about that. Okay, well then we'll figure that out. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay. Okay. Because I'm not gonna have that conversation with you, bitches. Okay. That's what's not going to happen. Okay. Right. Like that's it. Like I don't have to talk to you about e motherfucking thing. Whether he a scammer, whether he not, whatever the case, I don't have to talk to you bitches about that. All right. And what's gonna happen gonna fall on her. Let it go. So anywho, Brandi says, but Jen, how do you feel though? How do you feel? Jen said, girl, listen, Brandi girl, it does not matter how you approach me about this. I'm not open to having that conversation. Like it's not up for discussion about Christians. So you could just let it go. Okay. So Jen and was like, I'm finna go because you bitches is on something else. But see, here's the thing too, Jen. You can't run out of every scene. You're gonna be running out of every scene. Like you just like, that's not going to be good. Now you probably could sit there and give them dust or whatever. But at some point you probably are gonna have to talk about it. I'm not here to talk about Christian. You probably are gonna have to talk about it at some point. Okay. But you ain't gonna be able to just get up and walk out of every scene because they're bringing up him, especially if you feel like they don't know what they're talking about. I don't. It's not gonna make for a good show. But anywho, Jen, so I think it was Chantel that was like, I'm so confused. I'm so new here. I don't know what the hell going on. I'm sure Ming doesn't know what the fuck is going on. So can somebody clue me in? And so Evelyn was like, yeah, girl, it's like some type of Ponzi scheme or something that he doing. And Jen was like, stop talking about Christian. And then Evelyn said, tell him to stop stealing people's fucking money. Girl, it's just a mess. It's been a mess, girl. It's a mess. It's a mess. The ladies are cutting up already. So Christian is now home and she tells him about Evelyn and the audacities of Evelyn. And she tells him about Carl's cousin and how, she says that, you took $1,500 from her and you owe her money. And Christian's like, that's crazy. Okay. Being a victim is crazy. Like, all of this is crazy to me because I wouldn't even risk my character or my reputation for $1,500. All right. That's like dinner to us. Like, why would I do that? Jen says that she was like, oh, she also had the audacity to ask, should felons even trade? He said, then felons shouldn't be president. Now I said, okay, ooh, because he definitely clocked in just a little bit right there. But here's the thing, it's that one word then for me. Because when you use the word then president shouldn't be felons, it sounds like, well, shit, if felons could be presidents, then shit, felons could trade too. When I feel like you should have just used the word no, okay? You should have said, no, felons shouldn't be presidents, not felons can't trade. Like, are you okay? That's what you should have said. You know what I'm saying? But I see where you were trying to go with that. So you kind of like, you may have ate a little piece off the plate. Just a little piece right there. Okay. So then Evelyn tells Jen in the previews that she won't be able to walk in the streets of LA because here's the thing. Jen said, but your daughter had a baby by a felon. Your daughter is dating a felon. And so Evelyn was like, you won't be able to walk the streets of LA if you keep speaking on my daughter. Okay, and who she's with. If you keep speaking on my daughter, you won't be able to walk these streets in LA. And I'm like, first of all, who are you? Because you swear you be the big bad wolf till you meet one, right? And then two, your daughter grown as fuck. So you can shut the hell up. She's grown. She's not no kid anymore. She's grown as fuck, Evelyn. All right. But aside from that, while you telling somebody to give money back, why don't you tell your daughter's husband, or I'm sorry, not husband yet, but your daughter's baby daddy to get that lady her fucking money for the essay that he was found guilty of. Since you want to talk about stop stealing people's money, then tell him to get that lady her money. Okay. But Jen, I'm not off you because if Shanice didn't say anything about you, don't include her in the conversation. If Shanice felt the way about that, I feel like she got a right to feel away, because if she's not a part of the conversation, if she didn't say anything about you, then I don't feel like you should have brought her up, right? As a dig to Evelyn, because what Evelyn is saying about you directly, right? Not somebody adjacent to you or anything like that, right? She's talking about you and your husband, right? Versus you and your cousin or something, right? So I feel like you should talk about Evelyn and whatever she got going on, especially if you feel like she using you as a storyline. Well, let's get into you and such for a little bit. Since you want to talk about things, right? That's what I want you to do. All right. So that's that. And as we speak on the game, let's go ahead and get into him for a little bit. And this is the baby father. Okay. This is Evelyn's grandbaby's daddy. Okay, the game loses $4 million Calabasas mansion to help $7 million judgment to Priscilla Rainey. They're saying after nearly a decade of ducking and dodging, the game is being forced to sell his prized Calabasas mansion. And it all goes back to a $7 million judgment he's refused to pay Priscilla Rainey. The Compton rapper was sued by Rainey back in 2015, who accused him of SAing her during production of his VH1 reality dating series, She Got Game. She claimed that Game got her drunk and high, then forced his hand inside of her dress to rub her bare vajayjay and her butt. Game has denied the accusations from day one, but when it was time to show up in court in 2016, he skipped it entirely. That decision led to a default judgment, with the court ordering him to pay Rainey just over $7 million, $1.13 million in damages, and a whopping $6 million in punitive damages for basically blowing off the legal process. So, granted, this does show to me that it does not confirm whether he actually SA'd her or not, right? When you disrespect the courts and you do not show, they will automatically give the plaintiff the judgment and then some. So you come out better showing up. Now, granted, he could have appealed this in some fashion, but it seems like he's continuing to ignore the process for about 10 years now. So the fact that you're trying to ignore this process for this long, get that lady her goddamn money. So they saying that he may have lost the house. They're saying from the jump, Game made it clear he had no intentions of paying Rainey a dime. Okay. In fact, he took to Instagram in 2016 and boldly claimed, "I put that on my favorite auntie's poodle. This broad ain't getting shit." Someone check on that poodle. Girl, first of all, whoever wrote this article, you missed it. Check on the poodle. I'm screaming. Not check on the poodle. So he doubled down by saying she was kicked off the show and filed the lawsuit out of spite. But the courts weren't swayed by his online declarations. Rainey, on the other hand, has been relentless. She hired a private detective, or at least she hired private detectives to track him down and serve legal papers, seized royalties from his music catalog, netting around $400,000 so far, and kept pressing the courts to liquidate assets tied to the rapper's wealth. First of all, you got to be out your motherfucking mind if you think that I feel like I did not commit a crime. This person is bringing this lawsuit out of spite, and one, think I'm not going to show up to court, and two, think that you're finna get any of my motherfucking royalties from what I work hard for. You are crazy. I'm showing up. So this is giving, he did it. He did. And that's what it's giving. It's giving he may have done something he had no business doing, which is what she's accusing him of. To just avoid the process like this, that's crazy. And you have enough money. If she's netting over $400,000 on your music catalog, that was more than enough for you to go and get an attorney to handle this case. But you didn't. So obviously there must be a piece of guilt there. At least that's how I'm perceiving it. So then they go on to say, the Game tried to protect his home by claiming it's not actually his by owning a JTT Holdings LLC, a company he says he only has equity in. But the court didn't fall for that either. Rainey's team successfully argued that JTT Holdings was just a shell company set up by Game and his manager, Whack 100, to shield the property from seizure. And that wasn't good, because it seems like you probably should have got a trust and linked it back to your children. It's probably what you should have did. On May 2nd, 2025, a Los Angeles County judge ruled in Rainey's favor and approved the sale of the home. Oh wow. I hate that though. That's sad. You done just had this baby. I hope the baby has somewhere to go. You know, according to Zillow, the property is currently listed for $4 million. That still leaves a gap of nearly $3 million. So Rainey's pursuit is far from over. Child, despite the major court ruling, the gang has yet to issue a public response. But given his past statements, it's clear he never thought Rainey would get this far. And yet, here we are. Child, this article so messy. Whether she ends up collecting the full $7 million remains to be seen. But if there's one thing we've learned, Priscilla Rainey isn't backing down anytime soon. Woo! Child. Evelyn. So while you over there letting that vein pop out over there on Miss Jen, it need to pop out somewhere else. Don't say it ain't got nothing to do with you. You better not pull no Shamia. Don't say it ain't got nothing to do with you. This is not my fight. Because anything regarding your daughter and your grandchild should always be your fight. Not a woman that's over there dealing with him over there. That's just what it is that I think. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we just have to call it for what it is. But anywho, let's hop over because we have to get into the things that Evelyn put over here on this page. When I tell you it's a lot, so I'm gonna try to get through it because I don't know how much what we looking like. Okay. I'm gonna have to wrap this thing up. So first of all, she says, just to clarify, Brittany did an interview with Jason Lee on Revolt where she dragged all of us. And what's wild is that we never even had a personal issue that season. That was her first season on the show. Later, I did an interview with Jason and he asked me about her. I simply told the truth. When we were filming that show, she was very unprofessional, showing up late or not at all. That's just what it is. Now, listen, I would have felt the way if somebody showing up late. If I was on Married to Medicine and Quad was showing up late to scenes, I probably would have cussed her the hell out. Cause bitch, I ain't got time to be here all day, ho. I got other stuff I'm trying to do. I was expecting to film from near to here. Okay? But within this window, you need to show up on time because what you do impacts everybody else, bitch. You are not the star. Get it together, Britt. Okay? So I'm glad Brittany and I were able to clear the air and move forward. I never had any beef. I was just speaking my truth. Well, look like y'all finna fall out again. What else she goes on? She says, I didn't want her involved in any of this because honestly, I feel like she's above it. That's why I came to her privately with the info. She's talking about Jen now. I had receipts and even offered to give her the FBI's number because if there's one thing Jennifer knows about me, it's that I'm not a liar. I was just hoping she'd believe me and at least reach out to the contact to understand what was really going on. But instead, she got upset with me. And this be the thing that we talk about with friends. Sometimes you can't come to them about stuff because they are going to get upset with you for even doing it. So I feel like, one, I do feel like Evelyn may have been damned if she do, damned if she doesn't. However, once you did and you realize that you know, it didn't matter, she still was going to be upset, then I feel like you should have just scaled back. Like, you got it. You got it. You got it, love. Go ahead. Take that. You good. If you need me, I'm here. Right? Cool. It was a little post going around. I think it started with that Easter egg situation and how she is with friends, and then other people got to talking and and I said I was gonna talk about it, but I don't know. But it's just friendship can be a very funny thing. You know what I'm saying? It can be a very funny thing, and we'll leave it there. Let's keep going. So, she goes on to say, the only obsession I had was Jennifer's well-being. That's it, and that is all. I feel like you can still have that well-being for your friend and let them do their thing, right? So I'll say this, which is what I was going to say basically. A lot of friends felt like when you're going through it, or when you get your man and you from things that I was reading, and you with them all the time, soon as they break up, now you want to come over here and you want to talk to me. I wonder like what the issue is with that. Can y'all let me know why that would be an issue, right? If a person is enjoying time with their guy or whatever the case, if things don't work out, and then now they want to, get back to hanging out with their friends, why does that be an issue for people? I would love to get an explanation. Make sure y'all leave it in the comments. I just be trying to understand, because like when my friends get to know new guys, I don't be on their head top about, oh, you ain't trying to hang out with me, or you ain't trying to do this, or da da da. Because for me, I understand the process and have always understand the process that you've met somebody new that you're taking the time out to get to know. And because I understand and know your goals, which is to get married and have a family, I'm not going to feel away when you're spending time with that person that you're with. I feel like if you feel a way that they're not available to you, and I could be wrong, this is my limited, viewpoint and opinion, it's because they're not available for you to dump on. Okay, about what the hell you got going on in your problems or some shit. Or they ain't got time to be out there and do single shit that you may do. And if you are a person that's coupled up already, you got your partner and you want to do double dates or you want to communicate. Just like you would want them to communicate back. I don't understand the issue with that. Like, sometimes people may have a job that takes them away from your ass as a friend. They too busy involved with their job. And when they probably don't got that job no more, yeah, they're going to come back around and want to hang out and shit. Like, they ain't never think that it was an issue. Yeah, they still see you as a friend. Like, I didn't understand that. I saw a few people making those comments like, yeah, as soon as they with them guys, they want to come back over. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, are y'all okay? Is there something wrong with that? Is that a problem? Please communicate that to me. I'm trying to understand. So, anywho, let's keep going. So I want to go up because somebody started calling out Christian, and I think it was this lady here. All right. So this lady says, so when Evelyn talks about not wanting the girl, wanting Jen involved, this person says he's worth $6 million driving your car. He's worth $6 million living with you. He's worth $6 million and can't get his kids. Woo! Miss Ma'am is cutting up. She says, get the F out of here. I better not ever cross paths with you, and I dare him to jump. He will jump to his death. Ooh, what happened, ma'am? Okay, so Evelyn tells her, I'm sorry this happened to you, to all of you. Right? So then the girl goes on to say, I could be bitch slap her, okay? You remember someone that gave you 30K? Why wouldn't she look at a receipt? Because she knows. Okay, that's what the person. Now I don't know if this is the cousin that she was sent with or not. But let's keep going. Let me keep going up because the girl came back and said some more stuff. Is this it? Whew. So she says, no, it's not legal for someone to trade or invest money on behalf of others without being properly licensed. Okay. In the U.S., anyone managing investments for others must be registered with regulatory bodies like the SEC or state security regulators. All right. Unlicensed trading for others is a red flag and often a scam. So you have to be licensed, is what she's getting at. All right. You have to be licensed. What else? The person also goes on, and before he tries to pull an old text that his blinded family believes, I did think he was cool, people. Hence, I was excited to trade with him. So don't let no text from 2023 be a distraction. Just like Jennifer told Aaron Nichols when he scammed her and others, we aren't going anywhere. So be prepared to be sick of us. He won't sit with us like Aaron wouldn't meet with her. Ooh, baby, this Kiki Lockett is on his head. Kiki, what happened? So Kiki says, but we're pulling this out the sky. I hope both of the dumbasses get everything they owe. Others tenfold taken from them. Nowhere, she says, nowhere in the U.S. can your funky ass trade on behalf of others, secondary or otherwise. Keep your lies for her. I know the truth. Okay. So this is a message. She got his picture up here and the word CG. Okay. He says, why must you do this to me? You know, I'm going to say yes. She says, 4%. No, she's texting him. She says, why must you do this to me? You know, I'm going to say yes. He says, 4% is a huge deal. She says, go ahead and run it. What have I got to lose? Well, nothing, to be honest. He says, nothing to lose whatsoever. This is a guaranteed win for you. So then he says, I love how excited you are. She says, who doesn't get excited about making money, especially when it's more than one stream of it? My declaration is I'll never be broke another day in my life ever again, and God's favor shall always be my portion. Thank God for divine connections. Amen to that. God is the greatest. She says, for real. Now, this was back in 2023, it appears, because on September 4th, 2023, he says, good afternoon. So with $1,000 investment in Thunder Energies Corp, you were able to secure 7,500 shares. Is 3 streams enough for you? For now, he says, beautiful. She says, I sense there's more you wanted to inform me about. He says, yes, a 4th stream that'll generate about 30 to 40K in the next 90 days will give you cushion until the millions pay out next year. Woo. So then this is from Christian Walden Gold email. This was December 11, 2024. And then it was to her. Okay. Investment reimbursement and release of coins. I hope this message finds you well. As discussed, this letter serves a formal confirmation of disbursement agreement regarding your investment. The amount of $1,500 is to be returned to you no later than the close of your 2024, so that we can fully close our agreement, as you paid initiation and service fee to invest, but never made initial investment into your trade account. How would she not be putting into her trade account if you're talking to her about making so much money? Am I tripping? That don't sound right? Reimbursement amount was $1,500. Payment method, the reimbursement will be executed via bank transfer. Release of claims, by signing this letter, both parties affirm that this reimbursement serves as full and final settlement. Upon receipt of your signed release, the reimbursement process will be initiated. That's interesting. But if she already invested, why would you need I think that's what because reading this message, it's like she already gave him the $1,500. But then he says, so with $1,000 investment in Thunder Energies Corp, you were able to secure. So you're telling her she was able to secure the money. And first of all, I got to call stupid on her part too. Because the fact that you didn't also do a little bit of your own research and request that he show you documentation, and maybe he did and she's not showing it here, but you got to show me what was invested in. You could have really did that yourself had you download some of those investment apps on your own. $1,000 investment. So am I tripping? So, some people, they be getting blinded by the money and they don't really be thinking all the way through. But that's what's going on, child. That's what it is. It looked like Christian sat up here. Probably got somebody else, child. He scammed Kiki. Who is Kiki? Oh, is that her name? Yeah, Kiki Lockett. So I'm not sure exactly who she is, though. So let me go back to her page. Who is she? I don't know. It don't look like she has a lot of followers or anything, but this page was just created to, I guess, expose him and others. But real quick, friendships are relationships as well. It depends on each situation. But if you spend time with friends a lot, then get a man and stop. That's neglecting your friendship. And you have to nurture friendships just the same as any other. And I do agree with that. I do think that you should nurture both, but I also don't think that it should be just one friend reaching out. The one that got the man always reaching out. If you want to hang with them, then just let them know, right? But if they're blowing you off time and time again to spend time with their guy, then I guess I would understand that a bit. Like but then also I feel like relationships are about communication. And I feel like a lot of times when friendships fall out, regardless of how and what they look like, it's because people are not actively communicating how they are feeling, or how they may be treated. You got to teach people how to treat you. And if you're not communicating and expecting people to get it, then that's going to be a problem. Now, if you may have explained and expressed certain things to that person and that person's not, then that ain't no friend. If you're telling them how you would like to see them show up in a friendship and they're continuing to do the opposite, that's not a friend. Just like if it's a relationship with a significant other and you express it and they not showing up, that's not a relationship, So that's just how those are my thoughts on that. That's how I feel about that. But yeah. So that's all I got, though, guys. I just wanted to come and chit chat with y'all about that. And yeah, leave your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure you're liking up the video and you're commenting all of that. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, tell them I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF. Got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over. I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film. I can fill a pool, we gon' make them swim, nigga.